time with filming right now. It's just getting really difficult. Basically, I lost my SD card, so I can't film. So if I'm filming on my main camera, it's like I only have 10 minutes of like film time. So I can only like get one video on there, and then I'm rushing, and it's just awful. And I'm just, ugh. I tried to film a winged eye tutorial, and I did film it, but it isn't brilliant, and I can't be bothered to do it again. So yeah, just like it's just stress. So anyway, I brought you here today just kind of for a catch up, as well as to talk about, sorry, I'll start that again. I brought you here today to talk about transitioning Sebastian into a toddler bed, which a lot of people have requested, but also just to catch up and tell you kind of what's been happening, because Sebastian has just turned 2. He turned 2 yesterday. I didn't film or anything. I haven't really filmed regarding that because we haven't done like a party or anything. We're going to do like a day out with family. He was in nursery yesterday for a trial day. He's so young, he doesn't kind of understand, but we bought him a kitchen and a cozy coop that I kind of upcycled, and I am going to try and put that footage together and do like a very small video on that. So yes, so anyway, to the start of this video, and it is filmed on my phone, so I hope you can hear me. The reason a lot of people, I talk about how I don't like filming on my phone, and the reason being is because it's so much quieter than on an SD camera. I just like to have my main sit down videos to be on my main camera because you can hear me properly and it can be edited nicely, but as long as you can hear me, then that's fine. I'll just try and talk louder. The neighbours know that I do YouTube, so it's fine. They will understand. Okay, so to Sebastian. So we put Sebastian in his toddler bed literally just after Christmas. So he would have just been around 22 months old-ish, 21, 22 months old. And the reason we decided to do that at that time was because Christmas had been a really, really hectic time for us. We were travelling up and down the country, constantly visiting family, visiting friends. It was very, very tiring. It's something I won't be doing again. If people want to come to see us for Christmas, they can come to our house. It was just really, really exhausting. So, yeah, so after all that, Sebastian was completely out of his routine and he just wasn't settling. He wouldn't, normally we'd feed him, he'd have his bottle of milk and he'd go to bed and lie down. It was all, we have a very regimented bedtime routine, so you know, once he's upstairs and there's no coming back down again. And it's bath, and then we usually read him a book kind of like before we go upstairs. We might read him a book, then it's a bath, and then clothes, and then turn all the lights off, and we say night night everybody. He says night night Patch, and we go into his bedroom where it's very dark, shut the door so it's literally really, really dark, and I put his little VTech plinky plonky music on and the lights and stuff, and I still cradle him sometimes when I give him his bottle, or he'll lie in bed and have his bottle. When he lies in bed, that's something we're working on doing more of now, so that he can kind of settle himself. So he kind of has it and then puts the bottle away and goes to sleep. And he does do that sometimes when he's very tired. But, you know, for the most part, we still sort of cradle him sometimes. He's still like really little. So I guess it's just something we've never stopped. He's always been like a baby. So we've just never kind of like I said, we've never stopped it. But it is something we're working towards. So once we've done that, usually after he's finished his bottle, everything gets done in the dark. I'm amazed at how well I do everything in the dark. I put his dummy in his mouth and his muslin and carefully lay him into his, at that time it was his cot, and he would just go to sleep and I could walk out the door and no problems. And that was the way it was all the time, unless he was ill or something. So he's basically, every time I put him down, he wouldn't go down, and it got so bad that he was screaming his head off. He was crying his eyes out. It was just awful, and I really don't believe in controlled crying at all. And there was one night where we did do controlled crying for about an hour. He cried and it was awful, and I really regret it, and I won't do it again. It worked to a certain, he did go to sleep, but I think he just wore himself out crying, and which just breaks my heart. I feel kind of so angry at myself for doing that. So let me just check this is recording. Yeah, just, you know, just in case. Anyway, so it just got really difficult, and in the end, at my mum and dad's house, we spent some time at my mum and dad's house, and I'm sinking. I'm so sorry, you've probably another video where I'm like dropping down. So basically, we'd been at my mum and dad's house quite a bit, and their house, they have a toddler bed for Sebastian, so he's kind of used to sleeping in a toddler bed and used to sleeping in our bed. The same in my mother-in-law's house, he would sleep in the bed next to me in a single bed. So we decided then one night to just take the sides off to kind of give it the same kind of feeling that it had, that it was what it was like before. And I would sit with him and wait for him to go to sleep. And for 2 nights, we were sort of doing he kept creeping out and we'd putting him back to bed, but at least he wasn't crying, whereas in the cot he was crying. And one time in the cot, which is something he's never done before, he had actually got himself so stressed out, he was climbing over the cot, and because he's so small, he just fell out, and poor thing hit himself against a toy, and he wasn't, it obviously hurt him a lot. And yeah, it just was not fair on him. So at least if in the toddler bed he could get in and out without crying, and although it was exhausting putting him back and forth to bed, we did it. And after probably about a week, maybe less than a week, a few days, he started to settle. He'd maybe start settling on my chest and then go to sleep, and I'd stay with him until he fell asleep. And again, I put music on my phone and stuff. Anyway, so now roll forward, now that he's 2, a few months later, and routine is still exactly the same as it was before. It's just that now he's in a toddler bed and he settles absolutely fine. We have some nights where he will sit up. He doesn't often get out of bed now and creep out. He does occasionally, but we'll put him back and I will sit with him until he goes to sleep. Or I'll put him on my chest and sit with him until he goes to sleep on those occasions. But it's, touch wood, it's very, very rare. Usually he'll sit upright and go, "Mummy here," but he doesn't actually get out of bed. He just goes, "Mummy here," and I come back and sit with him and put him on my chest or sit on the floor and just kind of rock him or listen to some soft music. And usually he'll start to doze off within about 5 minutes, and I can put him down and I just put my hand on his back and just wait until he's kind of snoring a bit, and then kind of leave the room. So it's far less traumatic having the toddler bed. A lot of people have asked, have we used a side guard? No, we never used a side guard. I didn't see the point in one. Personally, yes, I wanted him to get used to kind of being in a bed. And of course, he was all over the place in the cot. For the first couple of nights, he did fall out of bed, I think, once. And then again a week later, but it's never happened since. Actually, no, tell a lie, it did happen probably a couple of days ago where I heard a thump, but as I went back into the room, he was just crawling back into bed and was like about to go back to sleep. So although it did fall off, he managed to get back into bed. But it's very rare that that sort of happens. He seems to be absolutely fine. We do sometimes tuck the duvet in on the other side, so on both sides we kind of tuck the duvet in so that it's kind of cocooned him, so he's less likely to kind of roll out of bed. But they'll start, a bit like us, they'll start to get used to it. They'll start to get used to being in that kind of shaped bed. So yeah, I've showed you the setup of Sebastian's room. So that's the kind of story. It takes a lot of perseverance, a lot of patience, but like that's the same with anything in parenting. It takes a lot of patience. Personally, I think maybe the younger the better. I kind of wish now I'd done it at around 18 months. It probably would have made a transition a lot easier. He sleeps better as well in the toddler bed. He still wakes up at about 2 in the morning, sort of saying "Mummy's here." Sometimes I can put him back down again. Other times he'll want to come into bed with me, and that's fine. I'm happy to do that. On the night of his birthday, so Tuesday night, he woke up at 2. I managed to get him back down again, just with his dummy and muslin. Just literally minutes, if that. I'd get out of bed, settle him for like seconds, go back into my bed, and I can go straight back to sleep. It's very, very quick. And then he woke up at 6:30, which usually he wakes up about 5:30, 6. But he woke up at 6:30, and he was just talking to himself in his room, and I didn't go in and do anything. And then eventually he kind of crept out and toddled into our room, and it's lovely when he does that because we don't have to get out of bed. And that was happening for quite a while, and it was really nice, but it kind of stopped now. He sort of started to kind of want us to go in and get him. But yeah, so any questions, please say. Please subscribe. If you like this video, please like with a thumbs up. It would help me out loads. But yeah, if you like this video, please subscribe for more. And if you are on social media, I don't have any social media set up other than Instagram. I have been slack at uploading, but if you would like to follow me on there and see photos of Sebastian, please do.